Thanks for stopping by. Well, the final numbers are in for September. The dividend income, $718. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with MSTY, or better known as MSTY. During the past 30 days, I've accumulated 100 shares with an average cost of $20.28. Now, I bought a good chunk of these shares during the first 10 days or so of this month. And you can see with that average cost of $20.28, if you do the math, you can see my cost for these 100 shares is $2,028, but let's just keep it simple. $2,000 for 100 shares. And this, what we're looking at here, is a screenshot of about 2 hours after the market opened today, September 27th, Friday. It was up $1.33 to $25.94, and you can see my total gain or loss at $566. This is when I decided to pull the trigger and rip $500 from the top. And that $500 rip is basically 25% of my initial investment of $2,000. Now, what am I sacrificing by ripping that $500? Well, I sacrificed 20 shares. Now you can see I just have a little bit over 80 shares. With MSTY doing well, they could pay $3 per share. And those 20 shares, if it were paying $3 a share later in October, I'd lose out on $60. So it's either $60 or $500. I'm choosing the $500, and that's why I ripped that $500 off the top. And with that rip of $500 off the top, you can see right now that my core number is about $2,088 with those 80 shares. And my average cost per share has actually come down from $20.28 to $20.02. So my MSTY's in a real good position, especially if it keeps on going up like it has been. And if there happens to be another rip here in the near future, I'm going to wait until it's at least at $2,300, or about 15% up from that $2,000, and I'd rip $300 off. That'd be the minimum amount for my next rip. And so the next question is, what did I do with that $500? I could have kept it in the account to reduce my margin, but you can see my buying power is at $14,400. If I would have left it in, I would have been closer to $15,000. So what I did is I cut that $500 in half, and I bought $250 more of the QDTE and $250 of the XDTE. So the XDTE, I got almost 5 shares, and then the Q, almost 6 shares. I have a longer-term goal with these round hill funds, the Q and the X. And part of that long-term goal is to use the dividends from the yield max funds from AMSI and MSTY right now. Use those monthly dividends and buy the Q and the X. And now I've purchased a small position of RDTE, but I really want to increase these weekly dividend pairs as quickly as possible just to get that weekly income. There's something about that dopamine hit that you get when you get paid every Friday. So I'm really excited about increasing these positions. Okay, let's get to the portfolio review. I did add a position this week of RDTE. It's a small position. I got about $60 worth, or just a little bit over a share of that round hill funds. But what we're looking at here is a screenshot of what happened today on Friday, September 27th. AMSI was down $136. You can now see MSTY, there's the 80 shares, but it was up $102. The Q was down a little bit, $28, and you can see the other two round hill positions were up a little bit. And at the close of Friday's business, this is the current value of each position. AMSI by far and away still my biggest position at $12,700, and now the Q from Roundhill now over $6,000. And then you can see the RDTE, that small position, just $60. All right, with this screenshot, this is the total gain or loss of each position since I've owned them. AMSI, it was coming so close to hitting $20, it fell back down. But anyway, I'm down $1,500 with AMSI. We still have a long way to go before earnings and the next dividend payout, though. MSTY's doing well, Q's doing well, and the XDT is doing well for my portfolio. RDTE just started, not much. All right, different screenshot, but same thing, but just in percentages. You can see the AMSI's down about 10%. MSTY's going crazy right now, up 29%. The Q up 1.5%, and then the XDT up 3.5%. Now just a quick look into each position. You can see AMSI finished the day at $19.59, down 21 cents. There's my 650 shares at an average cost of $21.92. Again, here's MSTY. It finished the day at $25.88, up $1.27. You can now see my total value is at that $2,088 with about 80 shares with an average cost of $20.02. And today's gain or loss at $102 of gain. QDTE finished the day at 42.54 or down 20 cents for the day. You can see I now have 144 shares. I believe earlier before I used the 250, I was at 138-ish shares. So now my average cost is $41.94. What I like about the Q, I bought a big chunk at the right time. I'm still in the green, up $86. RDTE position I started, I believe, on Wednesday. Again, just $60 in the position, or a little bit over one share. I'm just up pennies, or I'm up a quarter. So nothing to write home about yet with this position. And then the XDTE finished the day at $52.70, or up 12 cents for the day. Almost $2,500 of total value. The 47 shares average cost of $50.93. And what's nice, XDTE has just been staying in the green for a lot of us, right? Up about $5 today. I got a total gain of about $83. Okay, now going back to the screenshot of the current value for each position. If you add up all these values, you're going to get $23,517. And with this net debit up here, well, I'm with Fidelity and I'm using $5,847 of margin. So if I were to liquidate all 5 positions, I'd be left with $17,669. Now you can see my portfolio today was down $56, or about 0.32%. All right, I want to go back to MSTY or MSTY. You know, right now it's close to $26 a share. My average cost is right at $20. So it would be dumb to kind of buy back into MSTY. So I got to kind of let that run. So it makes me think I need to buy another high yield fund from Yield Max. I was kind of just thinking off the top of my head, Coney. You know, with Bitcoin doing its thing right now, maybe I can pick up 100 shares of Coney. I believe it's in the $14 range, and see if I can ride that just for a short period of time. Maybe make some money off that. Not necessarily not only with the dividends, but maybe be able to profit rip off the top, like I just did with MSTY, to make a few extra bucks. Because again, I do want to increase my round tail funds and get that weekly payment up. So I'm just thinking out loud. Again, it's in the $14 range. Let's say it's $15 max, $1,500. What would buy me 100 shares? So just thinking out loud. Folks, thanks for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.